Okay, so this is the mounting bracket. It's model number 2. And I was looking at this and I can see that if I were to draw a line right through the middle of this part, that it's symmetrical on both sides. And that's kind of a neat thing. And I want to try a new mirror command for me that will allow me to mirror the part. And maybe we can make this thing a little bit easier. So I'm going to pull this off to the side here and we'll find out. All right, so I'm going to start a new sketch. I'm going to put it on this front plane, right click, view normal to, and then I'm going to press P and get rid of all the work planes I don't need to see. I'm going to use the rectangle tool. I'm going to start right here at the origin. I'm going to pull this up. The overall length of the entire part is 5 inches, but remember, I'm only going to draw half of it, so this is going to be 2.5. The overall height of the part is 1.5, so I'm going to put in 1.5, and that's pretty good right there. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to draw the angle that's on this right-hand side. So I'll use my line tool, and I will come down on here and just go up, and then I'm going to go over, and I'm going to make sure my line tool is on again and come up from the bottom and up to there. So now I have these 3 lines drawn on here. Now the dimension I'm going to do is from here to this, and the drawing says 30 degrees. That's if I picked the top up here. This angle would be 30, but in this case I just take 30 and subtract that from 90, and that gives me 60. The other thing I have to do is I have to define this endpoint right here. And according to the drawing on the left-hand side, I see a dimension that comes from the top. So from up here down to this point of 0.75 inches. So now I've got that picked out. The other thing I have to do on here before I can do any extruding is, and I'll do this with the rectangle tool, is right down here I have to put in the little blocks that are missing. So this is the horizontal dimension is going to be 0.625, and the vertical dimension coming from the top is going to be 0.75 plus 0.5, which is 1.25. Is that right? Yeah, 1.25. So this height is only going to be 0.25 right here. I think right now, if I finish this and look at this isometrically, I can do my extrude. I'm going to click right there, and my extrude is going to be the entire width of the part, which is 3 inches. Whoops, something happened there. So I'll just double click on that. So depth, yeah, that's what was the problem, is 3. All right, awesome. Now, let's try this mirror thing and see how this goes. I think I have to turn on this right plane, okay? Because that is the one where the origin is right down there. So mirror, and I'm going to choose the entity to mirror, which is going to be this block. The mirror plane is this, and green check mark. And then I can turn off this plane. So that worked pretty slick. That was good. Now, excuse me, I've got to put like a tunnel down the center of this. So I'm going to put a sketch right on this end point and take a look at this from the end. And this tunnel is going to go like this. Rectangle tool. And I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to go right up outside of the part. And that's okay to do in this case. And I'm going to dimension. So from this edge here to this, that wall is supposed to be 0.5 inches wide. This one to over here is also supposed to be 0.5 inches wide. Now you can see that this has moved down. I just pushed escape twice. I'm going to click on this and drag it up. And that's just clearing the top of the part. It's perfectly fine that way. And I'm going to look at this isometrically, and I'm going to green check mark. Then I'm going to do my extrude. I'm going to remove that, and the depth is through all. And I'm getting a little merge scope message down here. I'm not sure what that means. I might be in some trouble. I'm going to green check mark. Yep, didn't work. So I'll double click on this. I'm going to click on the merge scope, and I'll just pick this part out here, which is part number 1, and green check mark, and now it worked. Okay. So I had to pick on the item that I was going to be cutting away from. Last thing is to sketch on this surface. Now look at this from the top. I'm going to put a hole in here. It's going to come right from the middle, right here. Excuse me. And I need to dimension it. So I'm going to dimension it from the center point here to the end. And it's 2.5 inches in, so that's good. I got that. But is this grayed out? Because remember, I touched up here in the midpoint. I don't actually need that dimension, so I'm just going to undo and get rid of that dimension. Now, what I do need, though, is I need the dimension from, dimension. And I need the dimension from here to here. And that dimension is going to be 1/2 of our overall width, which is 1.5. And I also need to dimension its diameter, which is 1 inch. Green check mark. Isometric. Extrude. Remove. Faces and stuff to remove is that. Distance is through all. Green check mark. Okay, a couple more things to do here. The part drawing's all done. So I'm going to highlight the entire thing, right click, and I have to find out what the material here is. The material here is stainless steel 303. So I'm going to assign the material. I'm going to come down into here. I'm going to go looking for stainless steel. This is all alphabetical, so it takes a second to get down to the S's. Stainless steel 303, green check mark. And then I'm going to right click one more time, make sure that part is chose. I'll display my mass properties, and then I will check to see if this value, 3.612 pounds, is the same as the drawing at the front of the room on the whiteboard.